Cast Iron Balls. Stupid name for a stupid podcast.
Cast Iron Balls, a podcast about sports. My name is Bob, sitting across the way from my good friend and co-host. That's Abe. How you doing tonight, Abe?
Doing well, Bob.
Yeah, here we are. Lori's here too. How you doing tonight, Lori?
I'm tired, but I'm good.
Lori is tired but good. Tonight is Monday, November 24th, 2025. Exciting news here. Of course, it is imperative that we live bet the games. However, we have guests. It is Thanksgiving week. We are recording just one Cast Iron Balls this week because I'm not going to record on Wednesday or Thursday because that would be very rude. I've already neglected my niece and nephew throughout the day in preparation for tonight's show. So just one show this week. We do, however, have guests sitting in. It is the long-awaited return of one of the original chairs of the Bob and Abe show. A man who would sit prone, feet higher than his shoulders, blue moon resting in his pocket, probably like wedged in between him and the couch there, right? Half asleep. And I would say something obnoxious and he would just go, ugh. And then he'd get up and go to the other room. It's Chris. Welcome back, Chris.
Hello.
Welcome back, Chris. By the way, I can't believe there was a time that Blue Moon could be had for $1. Wasn't it on Sundays?
I know.
Blue Moon Sundays. I knew it was going to be a bad show on a Sunday night when Abe and Chris would go out into the wee hours on Saturday. Abe would wake up on my couch, or Chris's couch, really, with a little bit of drool maybe coming out of the side of his face and down onto the floor.
Drool maybe, but no puke.
He would blame a cat for any leavings. And Chris would be like, hey, what was the name of that fucking pizza place? We're going to Johnny's. At like 11:30 in the morning because they had dollar Blue Moons. And Abe and Chris would go drink a bunch of Blue Moons, and then we'd come back and record like 4 episodes of the Bob and Abe show on Sunday night.
Yeah, you weren't getting a lot out of me then.
20, that's Emily in the background. Chris's lovely wife, Emily, is also joining us. We started the podcast in 2009 and did it for a couple of years back then, and then brought it back shortly after lockdown?
During the pandemic months, like in 2020.
Yeah, and it's been going strong ever since. But yeah, Chris and Emily are here. They're going to hang out. Probably won't talk much. They'll just be amused by our silliness, I'm sure. Abe, in the meantime, let's live bet the games. You cost me some money last week. Not great. What we do here, by the way, is we have Abe guess what's going to happen in a live sporting event, and I put my money on the outcome. It's a terrible system because Abe is notoriously bad at gambling.
What?
But Abe, the Monday Night Football game has already started, so it's too late for that. We've got the Houston Rockets playing tonight in Phoenix. That's the Rockets -6.5 at the Phoenix Suns. I don't know anything about these two basketball teams. I assume you know ever so slightly more. Who you got?
So slightly. The Rockets are like championship contenders, so basketball is a bizarre kind of sport.
So Chris is like his money, and it is his money.
Because like a gambling fund.
So I put a couple $100.
It's like ages old. As soon as it was legal.
When FanDuel got legal in Virginia, I think it was $250 I put into the account, and I'm what's called a subsistence gambler. I've never gone bankrupt in the gambling account. I've never really made money. Like it's been all the way up to like $1,100 or $1,200 in the past, and I think I took out like $400 or $500 when I had a big win a couple of years ago, and I spent some money on Lori with it. But otherwise, I've never put money in, and right now it's It's been a rough season. We're down to the bottom here in terms of what remains.
It's a rough season because you're betting on my picks, Bob.
Because Abe's not helping. You're goddamn right.
I should note I have stopped gambling, officially. But I would do something similar to Bob, which at the beginning of the year I would like deposit, $50 or $100. I'm like, oh, this should last me through the summer, and I could not make it out of January. Like I would just immediately lose. So I said, I'm not good at this gambling thing. I'm going to get out of this business. And then now Bob is asking for my input for his bets, and he's blaming me for it.
Because I know Chris isn't a listener, but the best part is when Abe says definitively what's going to happen tonight. And then since I'm doing the edit in the morning, I can just paste in the play-by-play of him being wrong immediately after he makes the call. And you can hear my money being flushed away in the process as well.
You should do one episode where you do the exact opposite of what Abe says and see if you come out on.
I mean,
I've thought about that.
500 right now, so you wouldn't make any money. I've been like right at 500.
Yeah. All right. So the Rockets, you say, are is Chris Paul still a Houston Rocket?
I don't think he's still on the team, but they're poised to make it very far. So I'm going to go with them. I don't know much about the other team.
All right. Are we laying 6.5 points, or are we just going money line here?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. 6.5.
Oh Jesus.
Live a little,
Chris
Bob.
Paul was that YouTube guy.
No, it's Logan Paul.
PewDiePie.
Yeah. All right. That's $5 to win $4.46 in return.
Can start spending the money now, Bob.
Don't just need it. Gotta have it, Abe.
Jabari Smith's going back and forth with the fan. Phoenix fans are reminding him they don't have Jalen Green. Jabari looks back and says, yeah, we don't have a guy named Kevin Durant playing.
Maybe you've heard of him. 114 to 92, the final score.
And there was much rejoicing.
All right. Normally at this time we would open up the WGAS news bag.
No time for that.
Sports edition, but there's no time for Who Gives a Shit News Sports. So we're going to move right on to the weekend recap here because we have to do a recap and we have to do a preview. It's a disaster. Did you watch much football this weekend, Abe? Was it a good weekend?
I watched my Colts choke it to Emily's Chiefs on Sunday. That was a rough 11-point advantage that we lost. And also, thankfully, I was about to go to the game in person, the Georgia Tech-Pittsburgh game, but the prices kind of went the wrong way. So I said, I'll just watch it on TV, and I'm glad that I did because that game turned out to be very bad.
Yeah, I want to start there with Pitt and Georgia Tech. That game was 28-0 about 18 minutes in. Tech immediately beshat themselves as quickly as possible.
This was a literally just win and you're in game, right? There was no other.
Yeah, it is shameful what Brent Key did in terms of getting this team ready to play. And all I cared about was from Georgia's perspective. I wanted Tech to be in like playoff mindset, right? I want them to know, look, we beat Pitt, and now we have to play the ACC championship game. If we win the ACC championship game, we get to go to the college football playoff, period, end of story. They wouldn't be worried. They couldn't be over-concerned with Georgia the next week. And instead, they come out, and they're going to have nothing to play for except beating Georgia now. Right?
That's literally it, right? It's basically a spoiler, and that's it. And they can't even do that because I think Georgia is, like, locked in, basically.
Right. They're not going to – I don't think there's any way Georgia falls out of the college football playoff mix, so even with a loss. Yeah, anyway, Tech goes down 28-0. They bring it back 28-14 before the half, and they force a punt to start the third quarter, drive down the field to make it 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. And Haynes King throws one of the most god-awful picks I've seen in a very long time.
A Peyton Manning pick six, right? I mean, just a terrible throw. Like, I mean, that would have been a one-score game. Like, they would have been right back in it, right, after that 28-0.
Yeah.
Right, 100-yard taint. So instead of 28-21, it's 35-14.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's no way, right? I mean, they sort of made another push at a comeback, helped along by the idiot Pitt coach who goes for a fake punt on like his own 40, up 2 scores. You're up 2 touchdowns and you're going for a fake punt on your own 40, it doesn't succeed.
Maybe he was inspired by Kirby Smart. It's like you're up, let's just kick them while they're down. The thought process, I'm going to set that aside. The execution was atrocious. I mean, that kid just fell immediately.
Yeah, he just fell over.
Yeah, just like he had no chance. And it wasn't even like a fourth and short. Wasn't it like fourth and like long, like 8 or 9?
Fourth and 8 or 9,
yeah,
I
so
think.
it's like, well, what are you doing?
Yeah. Anyway, Tech does make that a one-score game again, but they never really were in it as it went down to the wire there. So whatever. Fuck Tech. The good news is, as it turns out, Tech sucks. So I shouldn't be worried about how motivated they are or not next week. Anyway, they're just not very good.
Yeah.
They have no. You look at their schedule. There's no good win. There's nothing even approaching a good win. Like their best win is Duke, I think. Right? Like
Is that it? Really? Wow.
Yeah. Well, and they shouldn't have beaten Wake Forest.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, they beat Clemson when Clemson was ranked, but they're not any good either. Lori, are we in that situation now? Like you had mentioned that there was an outside chance that an ACC team will not get in automatically. Is that possibility higher now, or is it still this pretty?
I don't know, because what we needed for that to happen was for Duke
We needed
to win
Duke
the
to win a
ACC.
couple more games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a couple more games. We just needed them. But yeah, it was just because you were not going to have a 4-loss Duke as an ACC champion.
Okay.
Right, we've opened the door for Miami now, though, right? Miami still has an outside chance to make. They don't control their own destiny, but things can conspire for Miami to get into the ACC championship game, and therefore make the playoff. Because right now they're probably on the outside looking in, unless they play for and win the ACC. I would think.
So your Virginia team can win the whole thing then. The ACC.
Yeah, Virginia
could.
with a win against Tech this weekend can get in and win the
They'd
conference.
have to beat whoever the other one is.
All right, one of the games that I kept an eye on this weekend was the Mizzou against Oklahoma game. And Oklahoma won with 276 total yards of offense, 87 yards of which came on one play. And you'll recall they beat Alabama 2 weekends ago with 212 yards of total offense. And I was looking at their SEC rankings. They are in the bottom quarter or so in every single offensive category. They might well be total frauds. And despite that fact, it looks like they're going to make the playoff as long as they win this week.
Well, I did not watch this game. I'm looking at the play-by-play summary, and after like a field goal to start the second half, nothing happened. Just punt, punt, end of game. Just
Emily, what the fuck is wrong with Mizzou, and why does the offense suck so much?
I don't know.
Do you have any feelings about your coach, Eli Drinkwitz? Do you like that fella?
Me?
Yeah, you.
She's a dog fan.
I pay attention to the Georgia Bulldogs unless they're playing Mizzou. And then I root for Mizzou.
That's your school, you realize.
Yeah, I understand.
As long as you know what sort of person you are. Oklahoma sucks on offense. The defense is really good, though. They're going to make the playoff, I think. I don't think they're going to make any noise in the playoff. Anyway, all right, FSU, NC State. I bring this up only because Florida State this week announced that Mike Norvell is coming back next year. They are not going to eat the $50 million. He is six seasons into his tenure and is effectively a 500 coach.
yeah.
At Florida State. They've had one awesome year, that 13-0, or was it 12-0? 13-0,
Yeah.
I guess.
13-0.
And then injured
before they-
quarterback, and then they lost to Georgia.
Right, got housed by us
Poorly, yeah.
in the bowl game. And then otherwise, they had a disaster last year, and it hasn't been much better this year. In order to go bowling, they must beat in-state rival and 3-8 team Florida next week.
Right. You know, it's interesting that this Norvell tenure is basically feast or famine, mostly famine. Like he had that one great year. And are they just hoping that he kind of returns to that one outlier season? Like, I don't understand.
I guess,
or they
yeah.
just can't afford to get rid of him because
I think the
They
rationale
can't afford
is
to get rid of him.
why spend $50 or $60 million paying him and his coaches not to show up to work when we could use that $50 or $60 million on players and on infrastructure and whatever else we need to spend it on.
why wrap your arm around the coach before the Florida game? Like, what if they?
I don't know why you have to wrap your arm around anybody. Like, why
It's
announce
what
that
they
he's
did
coming back
at
next
Florida
week?
last year
Yeah.
before Florida lost to Texas.
Right, but
Yeah.
you're not
It's
basically
just
you
like-
kind of gave them the seal of approval, or at least for one more year. And then if they lay an egg against Florida, that'd be very embarrassing.
Yeah.
But that's going to be embarrassing either way. This way, if you get your ass kicked by Florida, people are going to be saying, fire him.
Yeah.
This way, they don't have to say no.
Yeah.
Okay,
They're just like, no, we're not firing him. Doesn't matter.
So they're slightly concerned that they might lose to Florida. Let's get ahead of the bad news.
Yeah. USC Oregon was a semi-entertaining game, at least to the extent that it was back and forth. But it felt like Oregon was mostly in control of that one because that USC quarterback kept throwing picks, and they had a couple of special teams flubs. And like this is what you're getting with Lincoln Riley, right? Like you have an easy Big Ten, you have an easy Big Ten. You have an easy Big Ten schedule, and you're going to get 9 or 10 wins. Otherwise, if you have a tougher schedule, you're probably going to be like a 500 ball club, and you're going to go bowling, and that's just who you are with Lincoln Riley. And I guess they're happy with that.
I get that you have to campaign for your school, but what was Lanning's point about? Like he was taking a dig at somebody for playing like a shitty team for no reason.
The whole SEC fucking assholes on Big Ten Twitter are like, oh, it's SEC Cupcake Week because it is.
Right, yeah.
As though
the Big Ten season doesn't even start
four?
until a month into the season. None of them play anybody until October, practically.
Also, the clever retort is like, in the SEC, we have to like borrow our cupcakes. We don't have them built in like Rutgers and Maryland and Northwestern. Like the whole bottom of the Big Ten has this as like awful records.
Yeah, even Vandy is good now. Like Vandy used to be a doormat in the SEC.
Yeah, and like even like Kentucky is maybe the worst team in the conference, and they're only a 3-point underdog against a pretty good ACC team this week against Louisville. So like, get the fuck out of here. All right, the most exciting game that I saw, and we didn't watch a ton of football. We just sort of had it on in the background.
We were cleaning the house. Have you heard that we needed to clean the house? We waited until the day before people were coming. We had a month. We had a month that we knew for sure that people were coming, and we waited till the day before.
So I cleaned like every day for a month, and then Lori joined me on the last day, is what she's really revealing here.
Oh, you did like most of the legwork? It was just the last mile on Saturday?
It's just, it was the last, okay, yeah, fair. Bob did all of the training for the marathon, and then on Saturday we did the whole thing.
I see.
Anyway, we didn't watch a ton of football. It was on in the background, which was appropriate because, like we said, it was kind of a sickos. It was a sickos quad box kind of weekend. Not a lot of very good games, but a fun game that was on was Kansas State Utah, which final score 51-47.
Lots of points. Wow.
For Utah. Kansas State ran for nearly 500 yards and led 47-37 with just 7 minutes to go and lost. You just said oof. Do you know what the last word in my summary was? What? It was oof.
There's the predictometer thing has a spike going one way and then it just falls off a cliff the other way. So something must have happened at the end.
Fun game. Utah, unfortunately, probably isn't going to make the playoff because only one Big 12 team is going to, unless something weird happens and BYU beats Texas Tech. Maybe they sneak Texas Tech in anyway. But yeah, Utah had a pretty good year overall. All right, last game that I have on my list here to discuss is UNC and Duke. UNC led this game by a point with 2.5 minutes to go, and Duke faked a field goal that led to a touchdown and the win in those last 2 minutes. And now UNC will not be bowl eligible in Bill Belichick's first year. How many times in Mac Brown's UNC tenure there at the end were they not bowl eligible?
That's true, yeah.
It was none times. They went bowling 6 straight years in Mac Brown's tour of duty there. And this first year of the great Bill Belichick, they will not.
And he's like old as shit, Belichick. Same thing with, what's his face? The Raiders coach, Pete Carroll with all that.
We were just talking about that.
I don't understand. Why not just go fishing? I don't understand why you're just sucking at football when you could just be, sucking at fishing.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Those were the games. Of course, there was also the Georgia game as well. Anything to say about the Georgia game? It's a weird. Was like
God, our third string sucks.
35-3. Was that the final score of that game?
Something like that. Yeah.
not a terribly fun game to watch. Like our fourth or fifth running back scored 3 touchdowns, which I guess is kind of neat. Is it Bo Walker?
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Yeah, I
Bo
think
Walker.
so.
As my buddy Naveed pointed out, that sounds like the Tecmo Bowl name generator got shit backwards. Like straight out of the 80s. Bo Walker is this dude name. There's also a Bo Jackson elsewhere in college football this year. I forget where.
No kidding.
Yeah. But anyway, Georgia game was fine. Nobody cares. We're going to play Tech on Friday, and it's going to be fun. Quickly on the NFL, the New York Football Giants. You sent a screenshot of the Colts collapse in the fourth quarter and overtime. The Giants led their game against the Lions by 10 points in the second half. And for the 5th time this year, they took a double-digit lead and squandered it and ended up losing this game in overtime. They found new ways to lose. And, like, it wasn't even Jameis Winston's fault.
Right.
Jameis had a fairly adequate game. The defense has just been utter dog shit to the point where they fired, of course, Dayball a couple of weeks ago. And then the interim guy was like, he looks around and he's like, defensive coordinator, you got to go too. So now we're firing coordinators as well.
Running out of people to fire. I mean, it's the hallmark of a 2-win team, you know? Like, I mean, at this point, do you want to win any more games? I mean, like, I don't know what the tankathon rankings are, but 2 wins, that's like a top 3 pick, right?
You want they're the first and so far only team eliminated from the playoffs already.
Yeah. And also, like, wasn't there also another collapse? The Eagles, they were up comfortably on the
Eagles
Cowboys.
were up like 24-0, I think.
Yeah, either 21-0 or 24-0.
Yeah, something like that. And the Cowboys come back and score the last 28 points of the game or 27 points of the game to beat the Eagles. The Eagles have had a couple of those kind of bizarre losses this season.
Very bizarre year altogether in the NFL. Is Matt Stafford going to win like a Super Bowl? I mean, the Rams look pretty good.
I think in the same way that like Jeff Hostetler won a Super Bowl for the Giants back in 1991, what we have here is Matt Stafford is going to get the Rams to the playoffs and then get hurt. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to go in the first playoff game. He is going to become hurt. And then the great Georgia Bulldog Stetson Bennett will lead
That would be amazing.
the Los Angeles Rams to Super Bowl glory.
I'm sure.
You act like you're kidding.
I'm not kidding. I fully expect it to happen.
If you try to get that in a bet.
When did you turn the corner on Stetson Bennett?
It's just what happens with that guy. I didn't say he was good. I just know what's going to happen.
He is good.
Yeah.
That would be remarkable if that happened. If those sequences of events happened, I mean that's got to net you a tidy profit.
We glossed over the Colts and the Chiefs. We watched that game as Emily was on her way in. We're texting back and forth.
Just Emily. Nobody else matters.
We're trying to get like her sister's YouTube TV login so that we can have the game on
Her
and ready
sister,
for her.
Also named Lori. It's confusing.
When she gets here. Because we don't pay for the stupid NFL Sunday ticket through YouTube TV. And I guess you guys don't either if you're stealing it from your sister.
Well, that's a whole weird thing. We usually do pay, but Chris decided you didn't want to, and then you were going to change to YouTube. I don't know.
So, I mean, I understand. You tight-fisted man here. Chris went to the doctor the other day, and they found out he was rich, and so they charged him at $1,300 just to get like a flu and a COVID test done.
Oh yeah, is that the new pricing model? They just size you up and.
Yeah, apparently so.
I should just come up as a hobo next time. Like, I don't have it, doc.
He's got good insurance. And it was like, nope, that's $1,000, you asshole. And Chris is like, I guess that's what he's like George H.W. Bush going into the grocery store and they're like, that'll be $27 for the gallon of milk. And Bush is like, I guess it's just what it costs now. Fuck. Anyway, we were watching that game, and I have to say, because I've seen a couple of Colts games this year and been impressed by Daniel Jones, looking not like himself. Daniel Jones looked a lot like Daniel Jones in this game, which is not to say that he was terrible, but it was just very like dink and dunk and a little bit here and a little bit there, and nothing terribly exciting or interesting happened. So is this Daniel Jones reverting to form? Are you guys in trouble now?
The bigger problem is not so much Daniel Jones, is the offensive line is regressing. Like there's a lot of pressure coming through, and you know the Colts were up. It was a very weird game. I think like the Chiefs had like twice as many yards. Like they just kept on, doing whatever they want with the ball, and then
a lot of penalties.
Yeah, a lot of penalties, and then they would just stall and kick field goals instead of touchdowns, and so that's how the Colts build the lead. And then the Colts couldn't do anything; they couldn't run, or they decided not to run with Taylor for some reason, and just things fell apart. The Chiefs were I think on a 2-game losing skid, so it's kind of hard for them to lose 3 in a row. So
right, they needed this one. You're saying that about Taylor. I think I saw a stat in the last 3 or 4 drives that the Colts had the ball, they ran him once.
Yeah, they hardly used them in the. I don't know what the plan was.
No.
It's 9:00.
All right, we're moving on here. That's the weekend in games. It's now time to move on to the best game in every time slot. Like I said, only one show this week, so we are condensing things, and we are going to preview this week of games. Every week, we give you which game to watch in every single available time slot. We have the now traditional 3 Thanksgiving NFL games and 1 college game on Turkey Day, and then a full slate of college games on Friday. And for some reason, they're sticking an NFL game on Friday as well.
Really?
And they took away the Egg Bowl from Thanksgiving.
On Prime?
I swear to God, the NFL is so greedy. They just can't let a day slide.
Assholes.
Yeah, but fuck that game. I don't remember what it is, but it's a stupid game. So don't worry about the NFL on Friday. But on Thanksgiving at 1:00, we have the Packers at the Lions, which to my mind represents 2/3 of the traditional teams that ought to be playing on Thanksgiving, right? It should be Packers, Lions, and Cowboys in some combination thereof. At 4:30, the Chiefs are back in front of our faces. Chiefs at the Cowboys on CBS. And then at 7:30, I think the Ravens are playing somebody, but don't watch that. Instead, watch Navy at Memphis on Thanksgiving. And actually, in reality, at 7:30, it's enough football. Put on the Charlie Brown holiday specials, and that's what you watch for the rest of the night. But if you need football, you can watch Navy at Memphis, which will be more exciting than the NFL game. All right, and then on Friday, we've got number 6 Ole Miss minus 7.5 points at Mississippi State at noon on ABC. There should be a lot of points in this one, and this is the game that, like, Lance Kiffin, I think, could lay an egg here. Pardon me, egg bowl, but Lance could lay an egg here and then get hired as, like, the highest paid coach in college football, like 36 hours later.
Right.
At Florida or LSU or something.
I'm rooting for that exact thing to happen. That'd be hilarious.
No. Friday at 3:30, Georgia is playing Georgia Tech. The Dogs are 12.5-point favorites, which is way more points than I thought that we were going to be favored by. I thought this was going to be like a touchdown kind of game, but then Tech looked like shit.
It moved up to 13.5 now.
Wow, 13.5 points. That is not being played at historic Mark Richt Field, Grant Stadium. It is instead being played at Megatron's Butthole down there in Atlanta. Any chance you're going to go to this, or is it
no.
Too much money?
No, I'm not going to this. I mean, it's a meaningless game now. I mean, if they had won against,
I don't know about
Pitt,
that kind of talk. I don't like that.
For some reason, the get-in price is still $200. I mean, literally, Georgia Tech cannot get into anything except like maybe the Cheez-It Bowl, and Georgia's in no matter what. So it's like, I guess it's just a hate game.
Yeah.
And you watch that on TV.
Yeah, it's not meaningless.
Yeah. All right, and then Friday evening, probably the game of the day, if you take this from an objective standpoint, we've got Texas A&M, number 3 team in all the land, against Texas in Austin.
Yes.
On ABC. That should be an awful lot of fun. I'm surprised that this is only minus 2.5 for Texas A&M, who seems like very clearly the much better team. I think Texas gave up like 40 points to Arkansas.
Yeah, right.
Weekend.
Yeah, it was like what 52-37. It was like almost 40 points. You don't. Maybe that South Carolina game is what's throwing off the Texas A&M confidence. You know, and they're also playing on the road. They're about to do a full season undefeated. You know, so maybe they'll choke it up. Who knows? These are kids after all.
Yeah. All right. So that's your Friday. Moving on to Saturday, the game at noon. Number 1 Ohio State minus 9.5 points at Michigan in the Big House. Number 15 now. This is something like the 50th time, I think, that these two teams have met when they're both ranked in the top 25. Oh, wow. I think I saw that stat today, which is an awful lot of times. This would be easily the single funniest win of the college football season if Michigan managed to beat Ohio State for the 5th straight year, right?
That would be remarkable. But I don't know.
What would Ryan Day have to kill himself?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think yeah.
He's not going to. I mean, he's went through
He
this
would probably
last
go
year.
into hiding.
Like, he survived last year, right? He came back from the humiliation to win the whole
They
thing.
almost fired him, and then they won a national title. If he loses this game, will they fire him?
No, he'll just go into hiding.
Yeah, just go into hiding and then, run the table in the playoffs.
I don't think there's any way that Michigan can win this game. But again, like I said last week, this Michigan team is better than the Michigan team that beat a better Ohio State team last year, right? So Michigan is slightly better, I think. Ohio State is slightly worse than they were last year. And still, that Michigan team beat that Ohio State team.
Right.
So who knows? All right, second TV quad box at noon. Finally, we're back to some multiple TV action here on Saturday. Number 13, Miami, -6.5 at Pittsburgh. That is a very important game in terms of the ACC championship, I believe, right? Miami needs to knock Pittsburgh out of contention, but then they also need some other bullshit to happen in order to get into the title game.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's fine. Who cares? It's the ACC. Clemson +2.5 points at South Carolina. Again, that's Clemson catching points on the road in Columbia against a wretched not the South Carolina team that we thought we were getting at the start of the year, but a bad South Carolina team. Kentucky +3.5 at Louisville, also at noon, and then Texas Tech is one to keep an eye on just because they're going to be a playoff team in all likelihood, even though they're a 3-touchdown favorite at West Virginia. You should probably have that one on in the background. Then at 3:30, it is, in my opinion, the game of the day. Number 12, Vanderbilt, +2.5 points on the road in Neyland Stadium in Tennessee. Over-under is 64.5 points. There are going to be a lot of points scored in this game. It's going to be an awful lot of fun. Lori will no doubt be rocking the very sweatshirt that she's wearing right now.
I don't know what I'm going to be wearing.
Yeah, I know.
That's not how it works.
You'll be pulling hard, though, for your boy.
He won't have a chance after this to beat Tennessee. I'm sure it's on his checklist.
All right,
I wouldn't want to be on his checklist.
Easy
I'm saying
there.
I wouldn't want to be on his checklist.
He has no future,
The lady
right?
doth protest too much.
I mean, I think he's exhausted his legal route, right, to more eligibility.
He's done.
He's done. He's not going to. You can't keep doing
And he's
this.
not an NFL caliber player, right? So,
No.
what's his future? Going to own a bunch of dealerships?
Sounds like the Colts might draft him if he's not an NFL caliber player.
He'll go be like a motivational speaker and a coach type.
Second TV quad box at 3:30. Oregon at Washington. Oregon only a 6.5 point favorite on the road at Washington. Washington's been pretty good, and Oregon needs this to qualify for not qualify, but to stay in the conversation for the college football playoff. They're not going to make the championship game, so they need to stay at those 2 losses. They don't really have any good wins. I mean, the USC win was okay, but they don't have a ton of quality wins at this point, so they can't afford to lose another one. LSU +10.5 points at Oklahoma. The over-under on this game is 38.5 points. Wow. And I think it's going way under.
Way under?
Way under. If this gets above 30 points, I would be surprised. Wow. Mizzou -2.5 points at Arkansas. The Mizzou quarterback is back. The Bo Peribula fella actually played last week. It didn't help the offense any. But Arkansas also sucks. And then Florida State +2.5 points at Florida is the last game in that time slot. Doesn't start until 4:30 though. So some very trashy games there, like very not very high quality teams, but fun games nevertheless. At 7:30 we have the Iron Bowl. Number 10 Alabama -5.5 at Auburn. Not a lot to say about that.
So weird because it's usually the 3:30 game.
Yeah, it feels like it's wrong at night.
It feels wrong, but what's the line?
It's less wrong because it's at Auburn. Like if
it's
this was
less wrong because it's at Auburn.
If it was
somehow.
in Tuscaloosa and at night, it would feel wronger. But this is fine. No, it's a 5.5 point game.
That's low,
That is,
right?
Yeah,
that is pretty low. It's not going to happen, but Auburn could knock off Alabama from out of the playoffs. Is that right? Like if
They could.
if Auburn,
That would be their third loss.
Auburn started like their third or fourth string quarterback this weekend, and the kid went off for like 6 or 7 touchdowns or something ridiculous like that. Like he ran for 4 and threw for another couple. And then I don't know if he caught one or something, but I don't know. He went off, and because they're trying to redshirt their other quarterback, and they didn't want to start Jackson Arnold. So like they started their third stringer, and the guy went off against Mercer, and they scored like 60 fucking points against them. So who knows what you're going to get with Auburn. That would be the second funniest thing to happen, I think, right? First funniest would be Michigan beating Ohio State. The second funniest thing would be Auburn beating this Alabama team. A Sicko's Quad Box on the second TV. Not very many good games this evening, but some potentially entertaining ones. We've got Virginia Tech plus 11.5 points at number 17, Virginia, right up the road from us here. Get-in price, not the normal $35 to $50.
Yeah, what's up with that? Is it because, I don't know, it's an in-state rivalry game?
Yeah.
In-state
Also,
rival. It's an important game.
Historically, all of the Virginia Tech fans buy up all the tickets.
Yeah, usually it's
to this game.
A tech-friendly crowd, even in Charlottesville. It won't be this week, though.
But they're like a lower income bracket.
Lori's doing not the racism, but the classism here.
That's what UVA people. They're the most classist people ever that ever existed. They're the worst. I hope they win. Not going to have a chance after this.
Whenever a new coach is hired, is James Franklin just gonna hover around? Like, does he get to be at the game? Just like, that's not how I would have done it.
How does that work?
Right? Like,
I'll bet he's around the program, right?
But he has like no input in day-to-day stuff, right? He's just kind of there.
No. SMU minus 12.5 at Cal. We've got Northwestern plus 6.5 at Illinois, and we've got Maryland plus 3.5 at Michigan State. Really, you could just not watch these games. But, you've got 2 TVs out. You might as well put these ones on. The late game might be worth keeping on. 10:30, Notre Dame, number 9, minus 32.5 points at Stanford on ESPN if you need a nightcap there. But those are the games to watch. That's the best game in every time slot. It is now time to move on to the CIB 2025 Pick'em contest. Obviously, I do not have Cousin Steve's picks yet because it is only Monday night. I'm sure those will be forthcoming. And to recap our scoring situation here, right now, Abe, you are out in front with 225 points. I'm in second with 210. Cousin Steve keeping pace with 207 points. And then Lori hanging out back there in the caboose with 172 points. Jimmy Carter has moved to 8-5 on the season. 3 games clear of 500 for the old peanut farmer. Abe, meanwhile, you are batting 500 on Abe Live Bets the Games.
So far.
All right, Lori is picking Pitt as the outright winner over Miami.
It's going to be so fucking cold.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
This is Carson Beck having to play a cold weather game, and you think that's going to matter?
Not just him. All of them.
No. Lori's also got Kentucky as the road dog against Louisville. Lori's really trying to make up some ground this week.
I don't want to pick.
And yet, Syracuse as the home underdog against Boston College. I think that's ridiculous. But I think
here's
Boston,
the thing. You know what network that's on? You know what network that's on? That's on the CW.
Yeah.
Those are upsets. That's the upset network.
Fair enough. I think Boston College is going to run away with that one. Wisconsin as the road dogs against the Minnesota Golden Gophers. And then she's got Wake Forest as the road dog against Duke. A maximum 50 points for Lori this week. Could vault herself all the way up to just behind Abe if everything goes right. Abe, what games are you picking this week?
All right, so I'm rooting for chaos this weekend. Starting off with the Ole Miss Mississippi State game, I'm going with Mississippi State outright, and my reason is this. For some reason, the Ole Miss, either the AD or somebody came up with a statement saying that we're going to have a statement about Lane Kiffin's future on Saturday, the day after the game, right? So now, what does that mean? Like, he's leaving, right? Like, and so Ole Miss, if they win,
How can it be anything else?
Right.
Like, because who's setting the ultimatum here?
right?
Because if he's setting the ultimatum, he must know that, like, either Lance is going to sign on the line, which is dotted to an extension after this game, or he won't, in which case he's going to say, we're moving on
Right.
from Lance Kiffin, whether or not he has another job to announce anyway, and we are
Right.
throwing our hat in the ring for some other coach, right? Like that's the only way this makes any sense.
Right. And that's
unless he's got something lined up that he hasn't leaked himself yet.
right. So, Lane Kiffin has a reputation. I'm sure, he's turned things around with his stretching, this yoga thing that he's been doing. So, like, he has a better PR status now. But, like, he's done this before. He has left teams in a bad way. It would be to his benefit if Ole Miss were to lose, because a loss knocks them out of the playoffs, right? I think I'm looking at the All-State Predictometer. They're at 82% chance, and if they win, they're in. If they lose, then they're going to be out. It would make his life a whole lot easier if he were going to leave to LSU, let's say, for it just to be a clean, like, they lose in a close game, and then he fucks off to LSU. So I'm going with that. Mississippi State over Ole Miss. I got Texas undoing the perfect record for Texas A&M. Vandy should be an easy win against Tennessee. I think another upset, Auburn will beat Alabama. And then NC State will just destroy Old Man Belichick's season once again. He'll be.
You were also kind of swinging for the fences this week.
No, these
45,
yeah.
a 45-point maximum for Abe.
It's gonna hit. Just you wait.
All right, I'm picking Vanderbilt outright as you are. I'm also going to take Clemson as the outright winner over South Carolina. I will take Arkansas as the home underdog against Mizzou. I think Arkansas is going to score 1 million points, and this Mizzou offense just is dreadful right now. I don't see anything good happening for them. I've got Florida State against the Gators. They're the road underdog, and they're going to win that game. And Maryland road underdogs against Michigan State. And I'm also swinging for the fences here. I have a maximum score of 50 points this week. Currently 15 points behind Abe for first. All right, that is the 2025 football pick'em contest. It is now time to go every week, as we do, to Plains Heaven, where we will hear from the former president of the United States, Jimmy Carter, and he will give us his presidential lock of the week. I will say, however, there were some unexpected technical difficulties with the audio file. The voicemail wasn't working from Jimmy. So we had an alternate step in to read us Jimmy's picks. It's all very confusing, but we have Jimmy's picks. It's just not going to be read by Jimmy himself.
Bob, you do know that Heaven has terrific internet connection. So I don't know if Jimmy's quite there yet.
It probably doesn't.
Oh, it does. I mean, Heaven, you get everything, right? You're not having struggle. You're not struggling with your emails.
It's what you really want is unfettered access to your fucking email inbox. All right, we go now live to the voicemail box to hear from Jimmy.
Hello, Mr. Cast Iron Brains podcast, or whatever you are. Somehow I got this letter from Jimmy Carter that was supposed to go to you. So I'll just read it to you, I guess. Hello once again to my dear friends at Cast Iron Balls, and also to Abe, a wretched shriveled husk of a man, an oversalted raisin at the bottom of the trail mix. Curious as a sleeping sheep, a man with all the imagination of a dull 7-year-old, which leads him to make truly outrageous claims like, oh, I think this old person will die soon, and my favorite football team will win the Super Bowl. Bless this tiny little bureaucrat's heart. But a man for whom I am nevertheless quite thankful. This week and all the weeks, as his dull dish and clod dish example reminds us always of how dizzyingly high humanity can reach from such a mundane and uninspiring floor. The holiday season is fully upon us up here in heaven. Just last night, I attended a Christmas concert, a barbershop quartet called the Dearly Durin the Bastards of Bethlehem, who were, of course, led by Kim Jong-il, and included a Gin Mummy Fiend, Marlon Brando, and Sammy Davis Jr., and our newest member, Charlie Kirk, who apparently replaced my old friend, the Georgia Peach himself, Ty Cobb in the quartet. And what a show they put on! You might think it's a little early for Christmas tunes, but as Rosalind always used to say when the carolers would come by, there's only two things I can't get enough of in this world. Publix macaroni salad and a remorseless pounding, and the deli's closed. So bring on the strange. Lord, how I miss her! Anyway, as for my pick this week, I ain't heard a line so delightfully queer as that iron ball spread since Lindsey Graham said Pussy Galore was the greatest James Bond character because of her attitude toward life. But I'm feeling like a lucky 5 Colonel Peanut after winning last week, and I can't help but lay those 5.5 points and put all my money on Alabama to whip Auburn like the little coachless, orphan sons of bitches they are. Roll Tide! More than ever, enjoy the games this lovely Thanksgiving with good food and drink and most importantly, good company. And be kind to one another for gosh sakes. Almost nothing matters besides that. May God bless this great nation and this great podcast. Until next time, this is Jimmy from Plains for Cast Iron Balls. Okay, bye. Cast Iron Balls. Stupid name for a stupid podcast.
All right, there's
That was very weird.
I don't know what I was expecting, but that was a very jarring.
it's Homer Simpson reading Jimmy's presidential lock of the week.
Talking about Rosalind, it just felt.
Only two things I can't get enough of in this world: Publix macaroni salad and a remorseless pounding. And the deli's closed. So bring on the strange.
That is really good macaroni salad.
Oh, man.
You've been listening to Cast Iron Balls, a podcast about sports with Bob and Abe. Lori's here too. And so were Chris and Emily. Little did they know what they were getting themselves into. You can find the show on Substack, brainiron.substack.com for more from us. The opening and closing themes of the show were composed by Mark Gillig, tetramermusic.com, Tetramer music.com for more from Mark. Abe, did anything else in the world of sport catch your fancy this week?
Yeah, yet another Georgia player got caught speeding.
Yeah.
And
former Georgia player.
He was, you can tell where he ranks by the fact that he was immediately cut. Like the other players are like, okay, we have to talk to them and, we got to teach him the right things. But this guy must have not been a very great contributor to the team, so they just got rid of him immediately.
His mom pulled a "my baby didn't do nothing."
But what's weird is there's a added wrinkle to the story, and it involves his mom. So apparently, the mom was getting pulled over for some traffic infraction. I think she blew past a stop sign or something, and then her kid goes very fast past the cop, and the cop is like, "Oh, more action this way." So they leave the mom to go after the speeding son. He's going upwards of 150 miles an hour, and he's got his siblings in the car, right? And then the mother then joins this chase. And the way they're describing it is she's running interference for her son. And eventually they arrest the mom, and then the kid has to appear to whatever, the sheriff's office, and he got arrested. So it's not exactly...
The posted speed limit in this portion of downtown Commerce is 25 miles per hour. Fantastic. I guess Kirby's finally kicking people off the team when they drive recklessly now?
Yeah, when they're
That's good,
reserve
right?
offensive linemen.
When they're not that good, if it was any better. This must be an initiation thing, right?
Quite a face on this fella.
Yeah. He's not making a great face.
He's disappointed in himself. How do you look when you're disappointed in yourself?
For a guy who's
Not
driving
great.
well over 100 miles per hour and at 25, he doesn't look like he's got a great motor. Just looking at him. Yeah.
He's a Jersey boy too. I think he went to.
All right, moving along.
He went to Bergen Catholic.
Yeah, he went to Bergen Catholic, one of my rival high schools. I went to Don Bosco Prep as a freshman, and our two rival schools were Bergen
Catholics
Catholic
fighting Catholics.
and St. Joseph's.
What's it come to?
Lori, did anything else in the world of sport catch your eye this week?
No, I don't think so.
Lori's got nothing else for us. That's plenty of cast iron balls. We're going to record a quick Billboard Hot 100 show shortly. So, Abe, have you got anything else for us tonight?
Nope.
I guess that's all we've got for you tonight then. And we will talk to you next time.
Later.
But as Rosalind always used to say when the carolers would come by, there's only two things I can't get enough of in this world. Publix macaroni salad and a remorseless pounding, and the deli's closed, so bring on the strange. Okay, bye. Cast iron balls. Stupid name for a stupid podcast.
The proceeding was created with 100% human content.